Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We continue our chapter 4 with subtopic spontaneity of the reaction. Okay, to determine whether the cell will react spontaneously or not. Yeah? So spontaneity of the reaction involved in voltaic cell can be predicted directly by the sign of calculated E naught cell, or Ecell. In the electrolytic cell, of course, it is not spontaneous because we need to have electric power. Okay, we need to have electrical energy to initiate or to force the reaction to happen. Okay, but in voltaic cell, sometimes it is spontaneous, sometimes it is non-spontaneous. Okay, so how to determine the spontaneity of the reaction? Spontaneous reaction happen when the E cell is bigger than 0 and the delta G is smaller than 0. Okay, but the reaction is non-spontaneous if the E cell is smaller than 0, is that negative? Yeah, this one is positive, and the delta G is bigger than 0. It is opposite between E cell dengan delta G. Okay, so let's look at how to determine the delta G. Ecell kita dah tahu dah how to calculate the Ecell. Now we look at the way to determine the delta G. Okay, Gibbs free energy, delta G free energy. Delta G for redox reaction can be found by using this equation. Delta G is equal to negative N F E cell, where N is the number of mole of electron being transferred. You need to balance the half cell first, and F is a Faraday constant, which is 96,500 coulombs per mole, and this is for standard condition. This formula is used for standard condition, which is at 1 atmosphere, 25 degrees Celsius, and 1 molar. Okay, so this is the equation to calculate the delta G. In certain condition, we can calculate delta G using this equation. Delta G is equal to RT ln Q. E cell is equal to negative RT over NF ln Q. R is the constant value, ln Q. Nanti kita tengok what is the ln Q. Okay. So what are the factors that affect the value, the E cell? First, the position of ion in the standard reduction potential, in the table, that will affect the E cell. The second one is the concentration of electrolytes, in the ions in the electrolytes. This also affect the E cell. The third one is the temperature of the reaction, because if you look at the previous in the previous slide, delta G dengan delta F ada function of T dan juga Q. Q is the concentration. And number 4, pressure of the gas when the reaction involve gas. So all these 4 will affect the E cell. Okay, factor that affect E cell is represented by the NERNST equation. Refer back to the NERNST equations. So this one is the NERNST equation. So you see this one, we have the ln Q. Ln Q is the Q is the concentration of the electrolyte. T is the temperature. We also have pressure nanti. Next equation nanti kita akan tengok. Kita ada juga pressure. And of course E cell. E cell depends on the SRP value in the table. It will affect the E cell. Okay. So this is another NERNST equation, yeah, in certain condition. Kalau kita ada different concentration, yeah. So look at this one first. Delta G is equal to delta G minus RT ln Q, yeah. R is the gas constant, T is the temperature, and Q is the concentration of product divided by the concentration of the reactant times with P, yeah, with the pressure if it involves gas, yeah. So delta G is equal to negative NFE cell. So delta G naught is equal to negative NFE naught cell. This one maintain. So if we arrange this equation, we get E cell is equal to E naught cell minus RT over NF ln Q, or E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 2.303 RT divided by NF log Q. So be careful with this one. Kalau kamu gunakan this one, it is log. Kalau you gunakan this one, it is ln. Yeah? At temperature 25 degrees Celsius, yang ini kamu terus boleh dapatkan this value because R is constant, T 25 degrees Celsius, and you will get this value. Yeah? This one pun dia solvekan siap-siap Faraday. So this is simplified form for this equation at 25 degrees Celsius. Okay. Okay, look at this example. In the terms of a new reference electrode, a chemist constructs a voltaic cell consists of zinc with a concentration of 0.01 molar and hydrogen with 2.5 molar at 0.3 atmosphere, the punya pressure. Determine the Ecell. Yeah? So this is the Ecell from the SRP table. First, you solve this one first to determine which one is anode and cathode. So the more negative the value will become anode, the more positive the value will become cathode. Yeah? Anode is oxidation, cathode is reduction, and this is the overall reaction. Okay, so you solve this one. You solve first for the E cell. Yep, for the E naught cell. So you will get 0.76 volt. Then you solve for the E cell. E naught cell minus with this one. Yeah. Log Q, the concentration. Remember, this is reactant over product. Yeah. Reactant. From the previous slide tadi tu, you tengok which one is the reactant, which one is the product. Okay. Then remember the pressure for the hydrogen gas. Okay. Then you solve for this one, you will get the E cell. Okay, which is equal to 0.86 volt. Okay, so we stop here. First, we will continue with the concentration cell. Okay, by then, Assalamualaikum.